Hello friends, welcome to SQL Server tutorial. In this sub-series, we are talking about database and data files. In the last video, we talked about the system databases. Now we will see how to create our own database. So in this video, we will create our new database, and when we are creating the database, we will learn about the database files and where the data will get stored. In the last video, we talked about all the system databases and what service it will offer to the running instance of SQL Server. Alright, now we will go to the demo and create a new database. So for the demo purpose, we are having a directory at D partition and directory name is temp. So in the SQL Server, here we are connected to it using the user account SA. SA is sysadmin, which have all the privileges. Now let's expand the database, and if you see, there are system databases, and we will create our own database here. For that, right click on the database node, then choose new database. So it opens a new database dialog box. Let me expand this. Alright. Now we will create database name as coding example YouTube or tube, CEtube. That's the database name. And if you see, once I fill this data, it automatically filled the logical names here: CEtube underscore log. And here in the path, let's choose D drive temp. So we will choose same for the log as well. Here file type, if you see, rows data and log data. File name, we will use the database name CEtube underscore data. So logical name, if you see, CEtube, this is where the data will get saved. That means, say for example, let's assume that you are creating a table under this database CEtube. So the table will get saved into CEtube underscore data. So that's the file name we are giving, and all the logs will get stored here in the second. So the logical name is log, right? So CEtube underscore log. So that's all the data file required for a database creation. So one is the data file and another one is the log file. So now in the select a page, we filled the required data for the general page. Now we will go to options and review, is there anything required here. So here we will choose recovery model as simple. So this recovery model is useful when you are taking backup and doing the recovery. So you can take database backup and then you can restore from the previously taken backup. So the recovery model tells simple or full database recovery or bulk logged. So full means it will be useful for transaction log based data backup as well as recovery. We will learn more about that when we go to database backup related sub-series. Here anyhow we are creating the database, right? For now we will keep it as simple so that the transaction log won't get filled quite often. So the recovery model is simple. That means when you take a database backup, you can retrieve or you can recover the database from that specific timestamp in which you took the backup. So for that the recovery model simply is sufficient. So file groups we will discuss later, but for now if you want to review, there is only one group called primary group and number of file is 1. Why? Because if you come here, CETube is the data file that belongs to primary group. That's all required. Now we will click OK. This will create the database. So once OK is clicked, the database is created and database name is CETube. And you can go to properties and you can look at the data file anytime. So this is the database we created, right? Let's go to temp, and if you see there are two files. One will store the data and another one is for logging purpose. Now let's go back to SQL Server Management Studio. We created the database using the Management Studio, right? Sometime when you want to create the database using TSQL, so here we created the database using Management Studio, right? Sometime you may need to create a script that will create the database. So when you create a software packaging application, the packaging application will invoke the TSQL script and the SQL script will create the database. So let's see how to generate such a script. Here you can right click. So choose script database as create to new query editor window, and this will generate the script. You can modify this script and you can ship that. With your packaging module. So what I will do here, let me delete this database, close existing connection. If you see, the database is deleted and the files also gone. Now since we have the TSQL script, we can now execute this script to recreate the database. So we will copy this script. So new query, we will use master and execute this script. Refresh here and you can see CE2B is created. Right, so you can create the script using SQL Server Management Studio, or you can write the TSQL script to create the database. Here if you see, since we used the SQL Server Management Studio to create this script, there are a lot of options specified here, but the key thing is there's a specific statement: create database name. Then on primary, you can specify the name, file name. This is for data file, and this one is for log file, and there are other options as well. Size, this is the initial size, and if you see here, the initial size given to the database file is 8192. So this will be called as a page size. Page extent, all those stuff we will learn later, but here if you see, this is the script to generate the database. So in SQL Server Management Studio, you can create any object, and then you can generate the script, and that way you can learn TSQL as well. Alright, let's close this. So just now you saw the demo, and we created a sample database called CEtube. So in this database, you can start adding the table, view, and whatever you want. Thank you for watching. Bye.